COVID numbers are increasing again in many parts of this country, raising fears of another difficult winter. At least 35 states have seen daily COVID cases trend upward over the past 2 weeks. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. Mola Lenghi is in one of those states. We're talking about Colorado now. Mola, good morning to you. How are officials responding there?
Well, good morning, Gayle. Yeah, the governor here has signed an executive order declaring Colorado a high-risk COVID state. That order makes all adults here, all of them, eligible for the COVID vaccine booster. Of course, this is an attempt to try to disrupt what's becoming an alarming trend, one that's beginning to overwhelm hospitals.
We still want to provide the very best care to our patients, but that's just a little more difficult in these trying times.
This is ICU nurse Tracy Preeb, helping in the seemingly endless fight against Colorado's spiking COVID-19 cases.
I don't know how anyone could not have feelings of burnout based on what we've endured these last 2 years.
What you're going through right now as a staff, is it sustainable?
Right now, it is not sustainable.
Yeah.
We need changes, and there are only so many resources.
95% of the state's ICU beds are now full, and the Department of Health says nearly 40% of hospitals in the state are expected to experience staffing shortages within a week. That's why Colorado's governor has called for 500 additional beds and activated the state's crisis standards of care, giving hospitals flexibility in allocating resources, including affecting the ratio of staff to patients.
I think everybody is still obviously committed to doing the best they can and take care of patients, but I think there's also sort of a sense of wanting the community to step up.
To Dr. Michelle Barron, Senior Medical Director of Infection Prevention at UC Health, stepping up means getting vaccinated. About 80% of the state's more than 1,400 hospitalized COVID patients are unvaccinated.
There's been a high percentage of individuals vaccinated above the national average, but that means that 30% of people are still not vaccinated, which in the setting of the Delta variant means they're vulnerable.
In this context, 30% is still a lot.
Absolutely, and I think other places in the United States are starting to see sort of similar trends where I think we had this magical number in our heads that, oh, once we reach X amount of vaccination, we're good, and clearly that's not the case.
Nearly 80% of eligible people here in the state of Colorado have received at least one dose of vaccine. We should point out that's higher than the national average, but there are 3 counties in this state that remain under 40% in terms of their vaccination rates. And folks here at UC Health say it's those unvaccinated people that are driving this spike, not just here in Colorado, but nationwide, Tony.
Mola, thank you very much.